Hold on. We got to read the caption. Somebody said, no, Kayla Clark Style, shout out to them. Kayla Clark Style said, the women behind Kayla Clark produced by Glamour with Eli Lilly and Company. So that's what we're going to look at right now. And let's get it popping, bro. Road footage.
I'm Caitlin Clark, and we are here to talk about women that have inspired me to become myself. I feel like my mom has always kind of been my rock. The first person I called when I got hurt this year was...
A recent video featuring Caitlin Clark has captured widespread attention online, offering fans a rare glimpse into the basketball star's personal life and influences. The interview, produced by Glamour in collaboration with Eli Lilly and Company, showcases a more intimate side of the athlete that fans haven't seen before. In the candid conversation, Clark opened up about the significant women who have shaped her journey. She revealed that her mother serves as her anchor, particularly during challenging times. When Clark suffered an injury during the season, her immediate instinct was to reach out to her mom, asking her to visit and prepare home-cooked meals.
I called when I got hurt this year was my mom, can you fly here and cook me a meal and just spend time with me? And that is just the person that makes you feel safe. And I probably took that for granted as a kid, but my mom always made the best meals. I think it's important to take time for yourself. And I think also when I do have free time, one of my escapes is cooking a healthy meal for myself, whether that's, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I really do enjoy that. Just putting on music and making a home cooked meal. And I think that's because it feels like a safe place for myself, because that's kind of what I grew up on.
This disclosure highlighted how much comfort and security her mother provides, something Clark admits she perhaps underappreciated during childhood. The WNBA star explained that cooking nutritious meals for herself has become a therapeutic escape during her limited downtime, whether for morning, midday, or evening. She enjoys playing music while preparing food from scratch, as it recreates the sense of safety she experienced growing up. Clark also spoke warmly about Coach Lisa Bluder's lasting influence on her career. Despite being separated for 2 years and Bluder's subsequent retirement, they've maintained regular communication.
Coach Bluder.
Now that they're out the gate, her mama. See, we never knew that. We never knew when Kayla Clark got hurt. She got on the phone, Mom, I need you to come up here and spend some time with me, cook for me, just help me out. Shocking. See, Caitlin, it's stuff like this that's going to keep the fans engaged. I love this. I don't know if her agent was behind this, but this is just a different like of Kayla Clark. This is something we never seen of her. I'm loving this content so far. Let's finish.
One particularly meaningful tradition that Bluder established was organizing breast cancer awareness games, where cancer survivors would share their experiences with the team. These survivors, who were devoted Iowa women's basketball supporters, would spend time with the players, expressing how much happiness the team brought to their lives. This experience gave Clark and her teammates valuable perspective on basketball's broader impact beyond competition. Regarding her partnership with Lilly, Clark expressed appreciation for the company's genuine commitment to women's sports. With both Clark and the pharmaceutical company based in Indianapolis, the collaboration feels organic and meaningful.
We never seen of her. I'm loving this content so far. Let's finish watching it, bro. I like this.
Has had a great impact on my life. We've been able to stay in close contact over the course of my career. Now, obviously, I've been away for 2 years and she has now since retired. But I think one thing that was probably super impactful on myself and all of my teammates is we always had a breast cancer game or a cancer game, and she would always bring in cancer survivors that got to kind of tell their story, but also the impact our team had on people and how much joy we could bring to them, because those people were huge Iowa women's basketball fans. And
the company's logo appears on the team jerseys, making the partnership visible during every game. Clark identified Maya Moore as her childhood basketball idol, regardless of gender. Meeting Moore in person and watching her compete live remains one of Clark's most treasured childhood experiences. When Moore surprised Clark by attending one of her Iowa games, sitting courtside, it meant everything to have someone she'd aspired to emulate take time to show support. Clark later attended Moore's induction into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, where Moore's emphasis on team culture and being a supportive teammate resonated deeply.
To them, because those people were huge Iowa women's basketball fans, and them getting to spend a day with us meant the world to them. So I think it put great perspective, not only on, basketball, but what we get to do for other people. I think my partnership with Lilly.
See that there. Now, I did a video earlier today. You guys might not know this. I did a video earlier today speaking about Lisa Bluder. Lisa Bluter sat down with Sarah Spain, and that was the video I did before this one, and she shedded a bunch of stuff on Kayla Clark that we just did not know. Stuff.
Having experienced strong team environments herself, Clark understood the truth in Moore's words about how impactful positive team dynamics can be throughout one's career. Another childhood influence Clark mentioned was a picture book called Winners Never Quit, which told the story of soccer legend Mia Hamm. This was Clark's preferred bedtime story when reading with her parents. The book focused on Hamm's determination and resilience, qualities that clearly left an impression. Clark acknowledged the broader impact of USA women's soccer, not just on female athletes, but on women generally, and how they united people.
Stuff that I feel we needed to know, to kind of help strengthen up the fan base. We know we all have been critical of the Caitlin Clark era and the Caitlin Clark fans' hype, I should feel like, moving forward. But Lisa Bluter, dropping jewels. Let's get back to this.
I think, more than anything, first of all, they care about women's sports, which is incredibly important to me. And now getting to play in Indianapolis and them being based here, it feels like a pretty natural partnership. On our jerseys, we wear the lily patch.
Hamm's consistent ability to inspire others and contribute positively to society stands out as a defining characteristic. Clark reflected that without these inspirational figures, she might not have reached her current position. They motivated her to pursue the sport initially and to work tirelessly toward her ambitions. The ability to perform before capacity crowds each night, with young fans of all genders cheering while wearing her jersey, represents moments she treasures and never takes lightly. This type of revealing content has been particularly welcome during the offseason, as fans have expressed interest in seeing more personal engagement from the star.
On our jerseys, we wear the lily patch, so I feel pretty lucky and fortunate to be able to work with them. Maya Moore was definitely my favorite basketball player growing up, male or female. Getting to meet her and watch her play in a game for the first time is probably one of the greatest memories of my childhood, truly. And when Maya Moore did come and watch me at Iowa, it was a surprise. She was sitting courtside, and just to have somebody you grew up wanting to be like take time out of their day to come and support you. And she was inducted to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, and the way she talked about team culture and how much that meant to her.
Clark's upcoming Player Edition shoes are scheduled to release within days, and there's been discussion about the importance of continued fan support through merchandise purchases and engagement. Some commentary has focused on Clark returning to fundamental aspects of her game and reconnecting with what initially propelled her to stardom: exceptional basketball performance and maintaining her authentic, approachable personality. There's been suggestion that revisiting her roots at Iowa, potentially attending games or training sessions there, could help her reconnect with the foundation of her success. Looking ahead, Clark has several activities planned for November, including a golfing event, keeping her schedule active during the off-season period. The interview has successfully provided fans with the deeper connection and personal insights they've been seeking from the basketball phenomenon.
She was inducted to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, and the way she talked about team culture and how much that meant to her, and being a team player and how impactful that can be on your life is so true. And being on teams that have been really good, how true that is and how much that meant to her, and throughout the course of her career, that's just an easy person to be able to cheer for. My favorite book growing up, it was Winners Never Quit, this picture book, and it was about Mia Hamm. And I remember when I would read books before I went to bed with my parents, that was the one I always wanted to pick. The resiliency she had, that's the whole story of the book, and what USA women's soccer did for not
a significant...
When this story, and this is what kills me about this, when this entire thing originally broke, there was no confusion. The Saudi Public Investment Fund was listed as one of the investors. Now, all of a sudden, after the WNBA Players Union president signs what is at least a $2 million deal, and considering this is an ex-WNBA...
Subsequently, Front Office Sports revealed details about the league's provisional name and its roster of athletic backers, which included figures like Steve Young, Alana Barrett, Candace Parker, Novak Djokovic, and initially Maverick Carter, who later withdrew. The situation intensified when the WNBA Players Association president became the initial athlete to join Project B, signing what appears to be a minimum $2 million agreement. Given this individual status as a former NBA MVP, the actual compensation likely exceeds that figure. This development sparked immediate questions about the league's Saudi connections, especially considering the WNBA's long-standing reputation for social advocacy. Grady Burnett, Project B's co-founder and former Facebook executive, has adamantly denied that Saudi Arabia provides financial backing.
WNBA MVP, I'm sure she ended up getting more money. And of course, everybody's wanting to know, well, the activist basketball players, the woke basketball players, are y'all really about to go to Saudi and or getting a league funded by Saudi? Or with ties to Saudi. How about that? You, no matter what, your founder is now on record saying there is ties to Saudi.
According to Burnett's statement to Front Office Sports, the organization seeks a globally diverse investor base, but explicitly excludes any Saudi Arabian funding. This includes both direct investment and conditional financial commitments tied to performance milestones. However, a connection does exist. Sila, which operates as a subsidiary of Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, serves as an event partner for the league. This entertainment and hospitality entity, established in Saudi Arabia and owned by the nation's sovereign wealth fund, specializes in creating experiences, events, and destinations.
Her founder is now on record saying there is ties to Saudi. After everybody, and honestly, their woke activism has destroyed the WNBA. The WNBA, look, I'm going to keep it absolutely 100, as the kids say. If the WNBA was normal, like other sports, like a lot of other sports, where it wasn't just activism, and I understand.
Sila maintains operations through a London-based subsidiary that organizes numerous international events. Burnett emphasized that Project B maintains partnerships with numerous global companies, with Sila being just one event collaborator. The crucial distinction, according to the co-founder, is the direction of money flow. Project B pays Sila for services rather than receiving funds from them. This explanation has met with skepticism. Critics question why clarification only came after a high-profile player signing, rather than months earlier when initial reports emerged.
Activism, and I understand the NFL, the NBA at times has gotten into it, so is the MLB, but every year the WNBA is all up in it. All right? They have been the poster child of woke sports, activism, the whole night. Natasha Cloud out there tap dancing for a socialist in New York. All these entities out there running their mouth always about something.
The timing appears reactive rather than proactive, suggesting an attempt to manage negative publicity rather than address genuine confusion. The controversy carries particular weight because the WNBA has maintained a strong tradition of activism throughout its nearly 30-year existence. Players, executives, and coaches have consistently advocated for various social justice causes. Multiple league sources have expressed concern about what alignment with Saudi Arabia could mean for players' ability to maintain their activist positions. The league's association with causes promoting equality and justice creates an apparent contradiction when business relationships involve entities connected to Saudi Arabia, a nation with a controversial human rights record.
All these entities out there running their mouth always about something. You got romantic, sexual relationships happening between players in the league. All this stuff that's just accepted. And so now when one of these players signs with a league that is now supposedly how many months later coming out and saying it's not funded by the Saudis? Let me just start by saying this. I don't really.
This has led to accusations of hypocrisy directed at players who participate in the venture despite their previous advocacy work. Some observers have noted the league's extensive involvement in progressive activism, with various players taking public stances on political and social issues. This history makes the Saudi connection particularly problematic from an optics perspective, regardless of which direction funds flow between the organizations. The skepticism extends to the explanation itself.
Let me just start by saying this. I don't really believe this. I don't buy it. All right? But, okay, fine. It's not. Okay. Last February, the Financial Times reported the effort was backed in part by Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund. That was last February. The Financial Times reported that. In October, Front Office Sports broke the news of the league's temporary name and the list of athletic investors.
When the Financial Times originally reported the Saudi involvement, there was no ambiguity or confusion. The Public Investment Fund was explicitly listed among investors. Only after player backlash did the narrative shift to emphasize the distinction between receiving money and paying for services. Questions persist about why Project B waited until facing criticism to clarify its position.
Sports broke the news of the league's temporary name and the list of athletic investors. Steve Young's involved here, Lana Baird, Candace Parker, Novak Djokovic. Maverick Carter was in it at first, and he dropped out of it. This week, when WNBPA president, and I think this is still a joke, it's such a joke that this is happening, and this person is being allowed to negotiate contracts involving another league.
If the Saudi connection was genuinely limited to a vendor relationship rather than an investment arrangement, that information could have been disclosed immediately when initial reports emerged. The delayed response suggests reactive damage control rather than transparent communication. The situation highlights broader tensions between commercial interests and activist principles. Many WNBA athletes have built reputations around social advocacy, making business dealings with Saudi-connected entities especially scrutinized.
Contracts involving another league. This whole thing's a joke. They want to know why they have not turned a profit for 27 years. Example number one, and all the other things I just said. It's just not taken seriously as a professional league by so many people, and there are a laundry list of reasons why. Was the first player to sign with Project B. The news came as a surprise to many in and around the WNBA, and
whether the relationship involves receiving investment or purchasing services, the association itself creates ethical complications for those who have championed progressive causes. The controversy also underscores questions about the WNBA's business model and governance. The league has operated without turning a profit for its entire existence, spanning over a quarter century. Critics point to various factors contributing to this financial struggle, including concerns about how the league balances athletic competition with political activism.